Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the Pitch and Moan podcast, the show where we take a theme and turn it into an idea. My name is Luke and joining me today is Aidan T.
Hello.
And Helen D.
Hello.
Sound like a
Helen D.
Helen with the D.
My Xbox Live name is Aidan T.
Aidan T.
You made
Spelled
it sound...
T-double-E.
I used to do a similar thing with my usernames, D-double-E.
Oh, I don't know.
Double D
Not
with
like
an
Sounds
E.
super white. Double D. The double D.
Alright. So with this being the first episode, I'm going to take a moment to explain the concept of the show. Every week we're going to be given a new theme to work with, usually based around films, TV shows, video games, books, basically any kind of entertainment media. So we could do plays one week maybe. We could come up with a stage play.
Oh, that would be funny.
And then we're going to present a pitch to each other towards the end of the episodes based on whatever the theme is of that week. So today's episode is about horror movies, but before we get into that, what's everyone been up to?
Yeah, I had fun. I had a few drinks the other day and nearly bought a gun.
Nearly bought a gun?
Yeah, I was at my friend's house and we had a few drinks and we were like, yeah, let's buy a gun and then we'll go and shoot it in the fields. Yeah, let's do it. So we were trying to find people online that we could buy them off because they're mostly illegal, aren't they?
You need to invite us to one of these shindigs you do.
Yeah, the other time you were telling us about the guy who was just trying to follow you home or something.
Oh yeah, he wasn't there this week, thankfully. He wasn't there this week.
Poker Pete.
Poker Pete, yeah.
He definitely does want to poke.
Dirty bastard.
We should have had like a button for that. You know how radio stations have buttons that play sound effects?
Yeah.
One of them should be dirty bastard.
Dirty bastard. I bet there's a way that we could do that. That would be something to look into.
Alright, Aidan, what have you been up to? I know your weekend, so go on. What have you done?
I've not really done much.
You only killed 4 of us, I'll tell you that.
When? Go on.
Alright, I'm with
On
you. Yeah, when I
this.
was driving, I drove a car today without a license.
Did anyone in the car have a license?
1.
One of them had a license, yeah, but I was just joyriding, really. With her permission, so it's not really joyriding.
Where
But...
were you driving?
It makes it sound cooler than it were. He was driving around the car park so he could learn clutch control.
Oh,
He weren't
I was
fucking
expecting...
joyriding.
No, I wasn't. It wasn't like Grand Theft Auto or anything like that. I was just literally in a car park, driving around a heap of
Rebel.
shit. It was just a pile of just debris from like a building site or something.
I imagine when you said one of them has a license, it's like you pull over some old granny or something. It's like, well, she had a fucking license on her, so one of them did.
Yeah. Just pick someone up off the street. Do you have a license? Yeah, you'll do. Get it.
Did your parents ever let you drive when you were younger?
Yeah, my
So,
dad.
yeah.
My dad's let me drive his car a few times throughout my life. He won't let me do it now though, because he's got an expensive car now. So.
See, I never got that. I got the only thing that came close to that is I once got to steer the car going down my street, and it's a hill, so it was pretty cool. But I've never drove it other than at the weekend.
It was really good.
Yeah, I had to do after you, and it's once I got the hang of it, it's pretty good.
Have
I
you
did a lot
ever-
better than you though.
No,
I
fuck
got
off. I went
yeah.
faster than you.
Did you, ball? Oh, for a second, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of shot forward
So you all had
straight
to go
away.
driving it?
Yeah, pretty
Just
much.
me and Luke. Just me and Luke had a bash at it.
Yeah. See, I've never drove before, so Aidan pretty much... As soon as he got the hang of the biting point, you were pretty much fine, ready to go with it, weren't you?
Yeah.
But me, the closest I came before that is nearly crash car into a lake.
Oh my god.
So this time on the car park, it was much better. I managed to not crash much.
Yeah, you did pretty well. I don't think there was a time when you even almost crashed. I mean,
Well, no, there
shot
definitely were. Right at the beginning when I shot off and I didn't turn the corner quick enough and I nearly ploughed us in. Luckily, I put the brakes on.
yeah,
But
That
if
would-
I would have kept going, that would have been a crash.
that would have been. There would have been a lot of tears as well, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of
I'd be
beautiful
walking
memories
home.
made.
But you did good with the distraction test as well, didn't you, when you were driving?
I did, yeah, that's right.
I was in
Why?
I was in the back seat and I thought I'd see what I can do. Obviously, once he started driving, I'll see what I can do to actually put him off. So I started
You
playing the
flashed a
harmonica.
Oh.
No, just sprung it on him with the harmonica, and then when he was turning corners, I got like a Formula One sound effect thing off YouTube.
A drifting sound.
And Highway to the Danger Zone.
Oh yeah, you started playing Highway to the Danger Zone, that's right.
So that's pretty much what we covered with our weekend.
Yeah.
Alright, I've wrote here, before starting on the pitches, discuss the theme itself. So, Aidan, what's your favourite horror movie and why?
Well, Luke, my favourite horror movie is probably The Conjuring 1 and 2, because they're just really well put together. I mean, the first Conjuring leaves sort of things where you're like, well, what happened there? But it's not a big enough question so that it spoils the film. But then when they go back into the second film, it answers those questions, and you're like, oh, so that's what happened back in the first one. That's what happened there. But it's just really well put together, and it's the perfect combination, I think, of like jump scares and storytelling as well.
Yeah, I think
they're my favourite.
One of the good things about those films is it does focus more on the storytelling aspect than just the cheap sort of scares. And
Yeah.
because I agree with you, I really like those films. I didn't think that I would do. I thought they'd be same sort of like shitty horror films that they keep sort of churning out, but those ones surprised me with that.
Yeah, he loosely based it on that couple that are in the actual film. They're called
Yeah,
Warren.
Ed and Lorraine Warren, yeah.
Yeah.
I was meaning
I
to
like
watch. There's a video on YouTube of, I think it's the second film. It's based on I don't know if it's the Amityville, what do you call it, hauntings or something like that. But there's footage from the actual event where the bit where the girl's doing the voice on the TV.
On the recording, yeah.
Yeah, there's footage of the proper one on YouTube, but I weren't able to get it. I was meant to watch it.
Well, if you watch the actual film, right at the end, they play the original real recording.
Yeah, they do.
After the credits, I think, or just before credits.
I'm gonna have to watch it again. I wanna hear that bit.
Which one did you prefer, the first one or the second one?
It's the second one.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if I have seen the second one. 1 minute.
The second one's the one with the nun.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
It's good.
You've not seen it?
No, I got it mixed up with Insidious too.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, because the directed by the same...
Yeah, it's the same guy, so I got mixed up.
Yeah, it's
God
good.
Wilson,
damn.
yeah. He's in
Right,
both.
let me see if I've actually got it. I'm gonna have a look, 'cause I will watch that tonight, definitely.
No, it is. It's
I
really
love
good.
that film.
It is. It's worth the watch. It's a good watch.
I thought the first one was good because it's sort of like, to me, it was like The Exorcist, but I'm not really a big fan of The Exorcist. It's alright, but it's really overrated in my opinion.
It is.
But then The Conjuring sort of, yeah.
I don't like that bitch.
with The Conjuring,
I hate that bitch's face.
with The Conjuring, it's the same sort of premise, the first one, but it's, I don't know, I suppose it's more up to date and shit like that. And like you said, the story's better, you've got relatable characters.
Yeah, it is good.
But no, I prefer The Conjuring 2.
Yeah, the second one, I don't know, the first, like you said, the first one's good, but there's just, I don't know, the second one, it's just, I don't know, it's a better film to follow than the first one. The first one's just haunted house, they go, cleanse the house, and that's that. Whereas the second one, there's more to it.
Yeah, there's more depth behind it. With the first one as well, I didn't find it really scary at all. I think there was one jump scare that made me jump, but the rest of it was all like... The story was good, but there was no scare for me in it.
Yeah,
Whereas,
this is what I was telling someone when I first watched it a couple of years back. It's a really good film, and I really enjoyed it, but there wasn't much scare factor to it.
No,
it wasn't really... You know, because I watched it at the cinemas as well.
Story based.
And there wasn't really many times what got me, really.
Yeah. The second one, on the other hand, when I watched that, I was like... I was expecting the same thing, because we watched one after the other, and I thought it'd be the same kind of thing. It's sort of average horror, but good story. And then they do the bit halfway into it. I won't spoil anything for Helen, because you've not seen it, but there's a jump scare in there that I weren't expecting, and from that point on, I was like, this film's going to shit me up now. And there's a lot of good sort of camera work and cinematography with how they set up scares, like, I think it's the bit when the nun's revealed or something like that, sort of midway or towards the beginning of the film, when she does her sort of bit. That bit's really good.
Yeah. There's some, it's like what you said, some really good, it's really good. It's just a good film in general.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I'm excited to see that now. I am.
Yeah, it is
Because I'm
good.
looking at pictures of it now.
It really surprised me how good it is.
There's a VR game of it. I'm just looking at images now.
Yeah,
They've
there
turned
is.
it into a VR game. I bet that's shit scary.
I've seen 2 of them. I've seen people playing them, and obviously what they actually are, and it is scary because it's like
God.
I think there's a bit towards the end where it's like it scares you, and then it goes on to one of those things where it advertises the film. It's like The Conjuring 2 in cinemas, blah de blah. And then about 5 seconds later, it scares you again, and she like jumps out for a second time.
It's a video. It's one you can use on your phone, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can just hold in front of you. I'm gonna try that later. That's a good idea.
I hate those ones because you know sort of like the scare's going to come sort of towards the end, so you can't really skip through it, and you don't know which angle they're going to come at. So you're either looking away from them, and then it just...
I'm just gonna look at the floor.
Yeah. you're either looking the wrong way, and then it's just the sound that shits you up, or you're looking the right way, and then it's obviously the sound that whatever pops up that's going to shit you up.
Yeah, I've never used one of those virtual reality things. Never. I don't know what they're like.
No.
So.
What kind of phone do you have?
I've got a Sony.
You'll be able to
You
do it on
probably-
your phone.
Yeah, if you've got an Android or whatever, iPhone, Android, they can all do it now because all it does is just turns around. It knows when your phone's moving or something.
You can do it on your computer as well. Just you don't have to like lift
Wheel
your
around.
computer. Yeah. No, if you click on the video, it comes up with like a 360 degree whatever thing. You just drag it about.
Oh, I thought you meant the ones them weird goggle things what you put up.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You just sort of calibrate it, but you can do them on your phone and stuff. Helen, what's your favourite horror film?
I'm really bad at choosing a favourite, but Evil Dead, I do
Dead's
like
good.
that a lot because it's quite humorous at the same time.
Yeah.
I love horrors that have humour as well as a few jump scares in them at the same time.
Have you seen
They
all the
usually
Evil Dead
don't-
ones?
All the Evil Deads.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I've seen the first one, which I really like. I've got the box set, and I can't believe I've not watched them yet. Saving them.
Personally, I think they get better as they go on. Evil Dead 2's one of the better ones. But my favourite's probably Army of Darkness because it's really cheesy. It ups it a notch.
The cheesier, the better. It
There's
makes
bits where
me
it's
laugh.
like stop motion skeletons like walking into battle,
Oh, that's great.
playing like their bones as flutes. It's really funny.
Oh, yes. I'm going to have to see that.
Did you see the remake one?
Yes, I did. I also like that one as well.
I'm not a big fan of the remake one. I heard it was quite good for what it is, but when I watched it, I was like, I couldn't get into it.
I love that one. I love the first one and that one. I love the bit where she is crawling out the basement. Oh no, she's just there with a Stanley knife, and then goes through me when she starts cutting her tongue in half.
Yeah, it looks better than the first one, and they used a lot of practical effects still, didn't they? Rather than focus on CGI, which I think's pretty good. But I don't know if it was the story or something to me. I didn't care for it.
I can't remember if it's the old one or the new one. The one with the pencil in the
it's the first
ankle.
one.
That's the first one.
Yeah.
Right. That went through me as well.
Yeah.
Horrors with me, they don't really have to be scary. They can just have a lot of gory effects and a bit of humour, and I'll like it.
Yeah, I'm sort of the same way. To me, I think the difference is with the new Evil Dead and the old Evil Dead is they're both as gory, but the second one the remake sort of takes it more seriously, and that's something that I'm not into.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I can see that.
I'm a fan of all the old sort of slasher films, so ones like Nightmare on Elm Street and that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously they're sort of gory, but also quite humorous, and they know their limits with it. But then you go to the remake ones, and they take it a bit too seriously, and it goes more like a Saw sort of territory rather than what it used to be. So for my ones, like I said, I was a fan of the slasher films and stuff like that, so I've always liked like Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th and that sort of stuff. More for the monsters than anything. Like Hellraiser's got really cool monster designs in it, but the film itself, the first one's pretty shit.
Yeah, it's a really bad film, Hellraiser.
Yeah, I'm not keen on it because it's sort of like I bought it on video when I was like 10 years old or something like that, and I always thought, oh, this is gonna be fucking scary as shit. This is gonna freak me out. And then you watch it, and then Pinhead's in it for about maybe 10 minutes of the film, and the rest of it's all this woman just trying to bring back her dead lover or something like that. And it's not what you expect it to be. The second one...
That's like The Ring. Do you know with
Yes,
the Ring?
yeah.
You're expecting it to be freaky and whatever, and
It's
nothing
like
really
a detective
happens in it,
film.
just
It's really
boring.
weird.
Yeah.
Because we watched
The only thing creepy about The Ring is the first time she crawls out the TV and you're like, whoa, that's creepy. And then the guy on the floor with his mouth open.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm.
Everything else is just a bit bland.
Yeah, I agree. We watched The Ring around the same time as The Conjuring because it's one that
Yeah.
I hadn't seen before. I've obviously seen like parodies and I get the idea of the film, but then there's maybe about 4 or 5 bits or something with a girl in it, which are pretty good, and then the rest of it's this woman just trying to figure out something to do with horses jumping into the sea or something. It's really weird.
Mm.
I mean, it's based on a Japanese one, so they've probably got a big hand in why the story's odd, but
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't really work the same. Oh shit, I was saying my one. Halloween, basically, is my favourite one. Halloween works really great because it was done in... Hold on, let me get the date for it. It's either the 70s or the 80s. Right, I think I've got it in 1978.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. So that came out in 1978, and you could watch it today, and it still holds up. For me, the scares aren't still there, because obviously I know when things are coming, I know what happens in the film. But
Yeah.
they don't elaborate too much on what the time zone is for it. So other than the fact that there's some like 70s sort of slang in there, and the hairdos are like something out of like Grease. The rest of it all plays out really straight because it's set in like a house, a street, and that's pretty much it.
They're classic
Which one's
slasher.
Halloween again? Which one was that?
It's the one
It's
with
the one
Michael
with the guy
Myers.
with the white
He's-
mask.
Yeah, he's got the
Oh,
white.
yeah, that's right, yeah.
The white
Yeah.
mask, and he just sort of... It works great, because the first half of the film, he just stalks them for ages, and you'll see bits where you've got Jamie Lee Curtis, and she's like walking home, and then she looks behind her, and really far from a distance you just see him stood there, but not enough for you to make it out properly.
Yeah.
And it built it up a lot for like the first half, and then at the end it's just him going on a rampage, and like he kills a dog at one point. It's just
What
a good
monster.
film.
Sounds good. I've not watched that one yet. That is one I need to watch.
I recommend it. It's sort of like if you showed that to sort of anyone today who hasn't seen it before, it's
Yeah.
as scary as a modern day horror film, because like I said, if you get past the fact it's like whatever 3 or 4 decades old,
Yeah.
it's so simple but it works so well.
Jamie
Oh,
Lee
God.
Curtis, she's in that new series, Scream Queens. Well, there's a few series. I think they're on the 3rd one now.
Yeah, I think-
Which is kind of like a mashup of Mean Girls and... Oh, what's another thing? It's a bit like a mashup of Mean Girls and American Horror Story or something.
I've been after getting
it's
into
just-
it.
It's quite funny. It's quite funny. I'm going to have to get back into it because I did watch the first series and she's in it. She's brilliant in it.
Did you know that she's the daughter of the woman from Psycho? You know the one in the shower scene.
Is she?
Yeah.
Cool.
I can't remember who her dad is, but
I
her
love
dad
that
had something to do with it as well. I was going to say he was the director, but that's Hitchcock. But he was something like a producer or something on the film.
Oh, they did some photography where she was doing
Yeah, she
the same
replicates
scream
it,
as her mum. I remember now.
so that's pretty cool.
That's why, if you want to watch something that's really good, if you haven't already, watch Stranger Things.
I've been after watching
yeah.
that.
I've seen
I was
that.
going to say you'll have seen it, won't you?
I've watched all of them. Season 2 doesn't come out until Halloween, and there's only 8 episodes, but I think they run for just a little under an hour, about 52 minutes. But it is really good. It's definitely right up both of your alleys.
Yeah.
Really good.
It's meant to be sort of like a mashup sort of thing of 80s kind of films and stuff, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It is. It's based in the
People-
80s.
They keep comparing it to the Goonies, but I wouldn't compare it to the Goonies.
No, it's nothing like
is
the
it?
Goonies.
No, it's not. It's only because they're kids, I was
Yeah.
thinking, but they're not as funny as the kids from Goonies.
It's more of a serious thing. There's not
Yeah.
much humour in it.
No.
It's more about things that are strange.
Somebody's just come online on my Skype called Anal Ainsley. I have no idea who that is.
Emil Ainsley.
Anal Ainsley. I'm in for some fun later on.
Brilliant.
Oh, Psycho. I
Psycho's
just
good.
remembered Psycho. I love Psycho. I've got him on
Yeah.
my wall, remember? Good old Norman
Norman
Bates over
Bates.
Got all
Yeah.
bits here.
there. Yeah, he's gonna love me as much as he loves his mummy.
Did you ever get into Bates Motel?
Yes, I did.
How's
And-
that? Because I've been after watching that.
I watched the first series and a bit of the second until I think I was using the app I was using was shit, so it stopped working.
Yeah.
So I couldn't watch it. But it's pretty good. It's a bit weird. You see his relationship with his mum, and then later on in it, I think he has a psychiatrist or something. His psychiatrist says, "I think you fancy your mum," and it just gets a bit weird.
Yeah, I've heard something like that.
Yeah, so he's in love with his mum.
Well, that makes sense when you go back and watch the film. I've been after getting into that, and Hannibal, that's meant to be quite good.
Hannibal.
I've not watched Hannibal.
I can't remember how many seasons they did. I don't know if
Is
there's
it
two or
called
three.
Hannibal?
Yeah, it's the one with Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh yeah, I was getting it mixed up with something else. I was getting it mixed up with Grey's Anatomy for some reason. Why was I getting it mixed up with Grey's Anatomy? I don't know.
It could be Bones. It could be ER. I don't know any other medical ones. Scrubs. Hannibal
yeah.
Lecter goes to Scrubs Town.
Crossover. I really need a wee.
Alright, me and Aidan will hold fort while you wee.
Thank you. Don't even prank me like last time. I knew you fucking lied.
Alright.
Right.
Aidan, I'll shotgun some films at you. Tell me if you've seen them or not.
Alright.
The Omen.
No.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yes. Oh, it's one of the best films I've ever watched, Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, I agree. Have you seen the other ones, like Red Dragon and...
No, I've only ever seen Silence of the Lambs. I've not seen any others.
The others are pretty good, except for Hannibal Rising, which it's really shit. There's 4 of them. There's Manhunter and Red Dragon, which are the same film, but one was done first.
Yeah.
So you can watch either of those. Both are pretty much as good as each other. There's Hannibal, which is alright. And then there's Hannibal Rising, which basically, it's something to do with Hannibal trains to be a samurai for a bit or something like that. And he falls in love with this Japanese woman. And then at the end, he saves this Japanese woman by killing and eating this guy. It's really shit.
It sounds really crap, yeah.
It is. The other ones are good because it's sort of like it's the same as Silence of the Lambs, just not quite as good. Like there's a killer on the loose and they've got to hunt him down. But Hannibal Rising is just one of the worst films I've seen.
Yeah, no, I think I will have to watch one of the other ones, minus Hannibal Rising.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that this mic may have picked up the background noise. So I'll just be like...
I'll stick like a waterfall
That's
sound or
supposed to
something
be
in here.
That's supposed to be a pee noise, but... You know when it squirts out? Oh my god, shut up!
So we're going to jump on to the next segment now, which is to pitch our own horror films. So I'm going to start with my one, and I call it The Crypt. My director of choice for it is James Wan, who we've mentioned earlier, doing The Conjuring 1 and 2. He did Insidious. He did some of the Saw films, but I'm not sure which ones. I think he did the first one or something like that.
Yeah.
He's doing the Aquaman film as well, isn't he?
He is. He's doing Aquaman in either next year or year after that or something like that, which is going to be pretty good.
So is he the guy that made the dummy from that film out of paper mache because he wanted to keep the budget low?
Yeah, he did Dead Silence as well. So he's got a thing for dummies.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
And Annabelle. Or he produced Annabelle.
Yeah,
I weren't really
Annabelle
keen on
was a
Dead
spin-off
Silence.
from the Conjuring film.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like Dead Silence.
It's
I'm a bit
not a
biased
bad
with
film.
that, though.
It's not a bad film, it's just I'm sick of dummy films. Because it's like...
Yeah, it's alright film, but I'm just not into dolls.
It's the same thing, other than with like Child's Play and stuff like that, which are pretty good, because it's just... It doesn't follow the same sort of traits as doll films.
Yeah.
Most of them are always...
None of them.
They get a doll, and they'll put it in a room, and then they'll come back 5 minutes later and the doll's moved,
And it moves.
or its
That's
head's
what I don't
turned.
like about it. I think they should make the doll actually do something and talk.
Exactly.
They never do that.
That's why Child's
They
Play is
never
so
do it.
good, because it's
Yeah.
like, they've got a serial killer who's a doll, but they just treat it like a normal guy, and he's just running around like a kid-sized killer.
Yeah. If a doll's there, you might as well make it do something.
Exactly. I mean, they do it a bit in the
That'd be
first
freaky
one,
shit.
don't they, where it's like, he'll be sitting on a step and he'll do the "Hi, I'm Chucky, I want to play" sort of thing. But the rest of it is he's just running around like a lunatic screaming, and
It's
it's
fucking
brilliant.
That is a funny film.
It is. It's
It is.
really
It's a
good.
funny film.
here's something for you. Watch Child's Play 2 and tell me who the killer is, because there's a bit in it where halfway into it you're watching it and this kid's going round and he's like, Chucky's here, Chucky's after me. So in the middle of the night he grabs a knife and starts hunting him down. And you think, which one's the fucking killer here?
Yeah. They're both hunting each other.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you're supposed to root for the little kid, but he's the one going on the hunt. Not a whole lot else on James 1 other than Saw, Insidious, The Conjuring, and there's one here which is Doggy Heaven. I don't know if that's a good film or a bad film.
Is that a kid's
Never
film?
heard of it.
Doggy Heaven. I'm gonna look.
Doggy Heaven.
It's the only one that seems to be like child friendly, but I don't know. Doggy Heaven.
I've watched All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Yeah,
I
that's a
never
pretty
used to
good
watch
film.
That.
No,
It's
I haven't
alright.
seen
I remember that being a good film, but it's probably
Yeah,
shit.
I
now.
remember having it when I was a kid. I remember having it on video. It was a really good film.
What happened in it? The dog died, didn't it?
Yeah, the dog died, and then he goes up to like a doggy heaven, and that's it really, like a dog heaven.
I was gonna say he doesn't come
But
back, does he?
I can't
That'd be
remember.
bullshit. I remember he's like
Might
a
do.
ghost or something. He's just wandering around bars or something.
'Cause he's like an Alsatian or something, isn't it? Or a German Shepherd.
Yeah, what a weird film.
Yeah.
So anyway, The Crypt, James Wan directing it. I'm starring his golden child, which is Patrick Wilson from The Conjuring. He's in Insidious as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Insidious. He was in Watchmen. I can't think what else he's been in, but he usually plays sort of the same sort of
Like a dad role.
dad
isn't it?
roles, a relatable guy, family man, that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. And then I've got his sister, who comes into it sort of later on, played by Jamie Lee Curtis again from Halloween.
Mm.
So we start off. Oh shit! I'm gonna put some creepy music behind this. We start off. It's a funeral. Patrick Wilson's father's dead. He was a priest, and now that he's dead, Patrick Wilson's got to take over as being the priest. So he's holding this ceremony for his dad, and he's like, you know, my dad was a good guy, but now he's dead. I got to take over. I know I'm not as good, but I'll do my best, because he's a relatable guy. He's the kind of guy who has a beer, and he'll help people if he can, but he'll do his best. That's the kind of guy this priest is. Anyway, his sister's there. Nothing really happens there. They just see each other, so he acknowledges the fact he's got a sister. That comes into it later on. Forget about her for now. So we're at the wake of the funeral, and this father comes up to the priest, not a religious father, just a dad father,
Right.
and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry for your dad dying. Sorry for your loss." He's all like, "Oh, don't worry. Where's your girls?" He's like, "Oh, don't worry. My girls are around somewhere. Hope they're not causing too much trouble." But then we cut to the girls. The girls are causing trouble. They're down in the crypt of the cathedral. I had to pick a cathedral
bitches.
specifically because I don't know if churches still have crypts.
Oh, those girls.
Yeah. So the girls are down there and they come across a mysterious idol. It's vibrating or something. But it's definitely an idol. Nothing else. One of the girls goes up to it, maybe they dare each other, like, "Oh, I do to touch it." Still an idol, nothing else. When they touch it, it twists into an open state, and this grey-blue smoke consumes the girls. Maybe we think they're dead.
Yeah.
Who knows what happens? So later that night, Patrick Wilson, the priest, he gets a phone call off the parent. And the parent's like, my girls are missing. Where are they? He's like, don't worry about it. Call the police if they still don't turn up, but they're not here. Go to sleep. And then he cracks open a beer and he watches some sports on TV. And then he wakes up from a drunken stupor and there's a crashing sound in the church. Not the church, the cathedral, because churches might not have crypts. So he goes into the cathedral, he's got a torch with him. He's like, what the fuck was that? But he doesn't say fuck because he's a priest, he only drinks, he's not that bad. Goes into the cathedral and all the candles are lit. Maybe there's a homeless guy or something in here who just wants to sleep off the night. So he's calling him out, he's like, yo, if you want to sleep, just come out, it's fine, I don't care. But then all of a sudden he starts hearing all these noises around him, coming from the rafters. And all the candles suddenly blow out. And then Patrick Wilson's trying to fumble with the torch, trying to switch it back on. And then by the time he does it, there's a ghostly girl's face just resting on his shoulder. That's a jump scare moment there, you'd be like, ah! The smoke cloud then disappears and starts ploughing through benches, making a ton of mess. He's confused and scared, and now he has to clean this shit up the next day. So he calls his sister to come over in the morning. So his sister, Jamie Lee Curtis, I've wrote it down here as JLC, because I have to refer to it a couple of times. So JLC comes by in the morning, she's like, what's happened? Has someone broke in? And he thinks he sort of hallucinated everything, so he's like, I don't know, I don't want to talk about it. Nothing happened. So she spends the night to keep him company, and they start looking through her dad's old things. And he's got a journal, and there's a load of religious ramblings and stuff in there. And they start talking about religion and whatever, I don't know. But then they're interrupted later on that night again, and there's another crashing sound. So they go into the cathedral, not a church. More spooky things happen. Candles are on and off, things are flying across a room. It's the works, everything's going on. James wanted to be able to sort of run with this, because I can't do scary tension building here. So he'd be like, I don't know, throw a chair across a room. That'll be scary. Anyway,
Fair enough.
this smart girl demon thing, it starts to present itself. As it brushes past JLC's arm, it causes it to burn and blister. So he throws some holy water on it, but that makes the burning worse. But it also seems to affect the ghost. So anyway, they wrap it in the cloth, the ghost seems to vanish back down into the crypt, and they sort of pile a lot of furniture up in front of the crypt door to stop anything from getting in or out.
Alright.
I mean, you gotta sort of work with this a bit, because obviously it's smoke, you can't exactly block it out, but let's pretend you can.
Towels.
Yeah, you start stuffing wet bits of
it.
tissue underneath.
It's like Ghostbusters.
Just sucking on
Get a
the bits of
vacuum,
tissue and
suck it up.
stuffing it in the door. Shoving it underneath the door.
Those things that you put on doors to stop them like creaking and shit when you're opening them and shutting them. What are they called? Is
They
it
whip
draft
out their phone.
excluders?
They whip out their phone and they look at a YouTube tutorial on how to dampen smoke.
Or just like you said, just vacuum it up.
Yeah.
Right, so they go back into the house which is next door to the cathedral. This is where priest Patrick Wilson lives. So whilst JLC's recovering, he starts looking through his dad's journal as well. He's like, what's going on here? And he finds out that the smoke demon must be contained within a vessel, otherwise it's going to stir some shit, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then he also happens to conveniently note down that the idol's down in the cathedral. Here's what you do. This is how you trap it again. So he's like, shit, right. So he calls an ambulance for his sister. Then he calls the police saying there's a homeless guy in the crypt. I need some help getting rid of him, because otherwise they're not going to believe him. This is Patrick Wilson. He knows his shit. He knows how people work. He's a good
He's
guy.
faced demons and ghosts and nuns in the past.
Yeah,
He knows what to do.
Yeah, this is his fourth do at this. He knows all about how to handle a demon. So he gets the police there basically to back him up. Not that they're going to do much good, but it's worth a shot. So they walk down the crypt, there's flashlights flickering, there's more sort of tension built. Again, James want to just roll with this. Maybe 3 or 4 of the cops are killed by the demon, I don't know how. And there's lots of scares in this bit. Maybe the room's full of smoke. And where's the demon in all the smoke? Who knows, because I don't know. Anyway. So eventually, Patrick Wilson, the priest, finds the idol. He grabs it, the demon grabs his hand, it makes it burn, and then he throws some holy water at the girl. So he opens the idol up, it sucks the demon back inside, Ghostbusters style, and it leaves behind the missing girl's body. Patrick Wilson and the police officers, they help the girl, they leave the crypt. The demon's being trapped, so everyone's shaken up about what they've witnessed, but the police are there to testify, so they can be like, yeah, don't worry. So when the father of the girl runs in, he's like, oh, my girl, you're safe, you're sound. The police can be like, yeah, don't worry, this priest didn't kidnap her. It was some weird shit we're going on down there. That's why the police are there to sort of back up that claim. So Patrick Wilson, being a good old guy, goes and checks how his sister's doing. He's like, how's your arm burns? She's like, they're good, they're fine. And anyway, they think they can fix it, the paramedics. So all is fine. But then we get to the twist ending. We're in the ambulance. The father's asking the daughter, are you okay? What happened? What happened down there? What's with the ghost? And she's like, oh, don't worry, I'm fine. And he says, but where's your sister? Because there were 2 girls at the beginning, only one of them got released.
Whoa.
Twist ending. and then we slowly zoom out of the idol, which is still resting in the crypt, and the blue-grey smoke fills up the screen, so we can have a sequel maybe, and the girl... There's so many questions to be answered. Maybe it was the wrong girl that they trapped. Maybe. There was two ghosts all along. Who knows?
Wow.
Who knows? So that's my pitch.
Who knows? It's beautiful.
Patrick Wilson versus fart ghosts.
Yeah.
The fart.
That's gonna be the second one.
Yeah.
Silent
But deadly.
Yeah.
The Crypt 2. I wanted to do something that was sort of maybe original. I don't know if someone's done Smoky Ghost before. I couldn't think of anything original with this. I really struggled to come up with a horror movie pitch. Like, I love horror films, but you don't want to do something that's already been done. And you don't want it to be shit either. So I've kind of gone between the two here. Alright, Aidan, what have you got?
Well, I've got one that I'm going to use. But I came up with another one the other day. It's not perfect, and it's, but I'll say it anyway. They're not long. Anyway, I'll tell you the first one. First one, like yours, is directed by James Wan, and it stars Winona Ryder, and just two people who you can't see their face throughout the film anyway.
Right.
Anyway, okay. So it starts off with Winona. She doesn't have a name as of yet, so we'll just call her Win. So Win is at the doctor's. The doctor's speaking. The sound is all muffled, so you can't really hear. She's not listening. She's not paying attention. She's looking out the window, watching the world go by. She's obviously very stressed. Anyway, cut ahead a little bit. She comes home. It's about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. She comes home, but her house, the door is open. So she's a bit like, oh, what's going on here? Anyway, so she enters the house. There is intruders. By the way, the film is called Intruders. So she has some intruders. So basically, what the film is she's in her house and there's these two people in. She has to try and hide from them, whatever. There's some jump scares around. Anyway, so there's two. There's a man and a woman. The man has a shotgun. The woman's got a knife. Anyway, so while she's fumbling around, trying to hide and whatever, trying to find ways out, she finds a wallet that one of the intruders has dropped, and his name is Alan White. So she's like, oh, right, well, I know his identity now. Anyway, at the end, she ends up stabbing one of the intruders, stealing his shotgun, and then shooting the other one. And then just as you think the film is going to end, on a happy... she's killed the intruders, she's safe note, a police officer comes in at the scene and shoots her dead. Shortly after, the doctor, right from the beginning, walks in, looks at her, confirms that it is Winona, and says she should have taken her meds. And then the camera pans out to some photographs on the wall, and it is the two intruders with their kids. Pans out a little bit more to the front yard, and then on the mailbox it says Mr. White.
Ooh.
Winona was the intruder all along. What? And then
That's
the
like
second one.
Shyamalan shit there.
It's a good choice of actor, that, as well. Cause she's good at playing crazy.
Yeah,
she's really good at crazy. And my second one, it's loosely based around I Am Legend, with Will Smith and his dog.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
But it's called Alone, and what it is like I said, I'm not I've not really thought about it too much, but there is an actor, he's a guy, and for whatever reason, the human race has died out. They've not turned to zombies. It's just been a disease like rabies, which makes everyone murder each other like rabid. But then they all die. The virus kills them, so they don't stay dead, but alive. If you get me.
Yeah.
So he's alone, just him, and then a little girl called Rebecca. So it's kind of like the Logan film, he's protecting her or whatever throughout the film. He sees things like a car drive past and a helicopter, and he hears gunshots, stuff like that. So he's trying to find other survivors. That's basically the plot of the film. The jump scares are like there's flashbacks which shows you what happened to both of them and why they're both alone and whatever. and that's the jumpy parts. Like these rabid humans jump out and just like gory people and stuff like that. Anyway, right at the end of the film, he is alone, and then he goes to a shop, looks at the window, and there's a dummy in the window, and he's wearing the exact same outfit as Rebecca is. He looks up, the store is called Rebecca's, and what it is he's been alone all along.
Oh
Rebecca
my
lives
God.
this imaginary sort of
That is
vision,
top.
and we've just been following a guy through his descendancy into insanity.
Wow.
Fucking hell, you're gonna
I
be
would
twisted
see that.
endings.
I would
Alone.
genuinely watch that. That's
Yeah, so there's no cars, there's no helicopters,
Copyright.
there's no Rebecca, it's just him, and he's made friends with a dummy from a store called Rebecca's.
sounds like my life.
Sometimes I think I made friends with bloody dummies.
But yeah, that was mine. So they're my two, so they're my pictures for this episode.
No, they're good then.
Yeah.
Right,
Well,
Helen,
thanks.
what have you
Man.
mustered up?
Oh. Okay. Everyone, you must remember that book. The children's book. We're going on a bear hunt.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I
yes.
put my own little twist on that.
We're
Because it reminds
going
me
on
of
a
the
bear
amount of
hunt.
times.
We're gonna
Oh
catch
my
a
God,
big
yeah.
one.
It grates on me. It grates on me. They want to catch a big one, and then they say we're not scared. So I thought I'm gonna test their insanity here. Let's see if they do actually get scared.
Yeah.
So I want to put a horror movie twist on that. Okay, so they're on their hunt. There's a mum, a dad, 2 kids, and a baby, and someone in a wheelchair. Keep it diverse. And we've got a dog, a really cute dog, and they're all going to find this bear, and finally they find the bear. What does the bear do? Mauls them all. And then we've got the dad who just wants to save himself, so he throws the baby at the bear. The bear eats the baby.
That's bait.
And the only thing left behind is the wheelchair, and the wheel's just spinning. That's it. The only survivor is the dog, because the dog led them all there on purpose. This
Oh.
dog is evil, and he's cute enough to get a new owner, so what it'll do is it'll just get new owners and take them all to the bear for them to just get eaten alive.
Oh, so really,
which
the
one's-
bear
which one's
and the
the-
dog are in it together.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
the bird's
yeah.
like, yo, you fetch me people and I won't kill you. And the dog's like, yeah,
Exactly.
alright.
They're pals. They're bros for life. He feeds him, looks after him. It's got to be a cute dog, so maybe it has 3 legs or something, and everyone sympathises with it.
The bear's
Yeah,
got one of
champion
its
from
legs
Parks
around
and
its
Rec.
neck.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't come up with a director. I want it to be low budget, so
Low
I can
budget.
save all the money for this gory party going on in this cave. It'll just be
Yeah.
amazing. There'll
The
be baby
bird's
guts
just a
flying
manga costume.
everywhere. Dad's Adam's apple's gonna fling across the room. Little Timmy's legs that don't work will just be flying everywhere. It's just gonna be a gore fest. It'll be amazing.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's mine.
Nice.
A bit fucked up, isn't it?
So would you have
I'd
it where
watch
it's
it.
sort of you market it as just a film adaptation of we're going on a bear hunt and then twist the ending?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
kids are gonna
It's
go
gonna look-
watch this and be like,
of course.
"Oh, I know how this
course
story
they are.
goes."
Yeah, they need to get all these kids in cinema. Just ruin their
Yeah,
childhood.
it's just like what they did with Jungle Book. What they should have done is, right at the end, everyone's like, oh, Mowgli lives, we all know the story, but really, Shere Khan should just turn to ribbons.
An elephant stomps on him,
Yeah.
but it stomps on him to the
A
point
pack of
where
wolves.
the elephant stomps at him, and just as the foot comes down, it breaks into bare necessities. Like,
Brilliant.
So the trailer will look really friendly and nice, and then it'll just get all those nice people in. Oh, I can't wait to see this film with my kids. And then
I've
it'll just-
always wanted to see a film do that where they show it's like a romantic comedy or something like that, and then when you go, it's the worst horror film you could ever see, and it just
Yeah,
tricks
that
you with
sounds
that.
good.
I
should
reckon the
trick
way
people.
it could be done is if they did the trailer all friendly and whatever, and then they just put the age as 18. So
Yeah.
like, why is it 18? So you
Yeah.
go and you find out why it's 18. You're like, oh shit. I reckon that would do great. That would be some good marketing.
I can
think
picture
you
sort
would.
of like
Word
for the
of mouth.
poster of it. Do you remember the poster for the 2016? I think. What year did Godzilla come out?
Was it 2015?
14?
It might have been
Let's have a look.
2014. Do you remember the poster where it's like the red
Yeah,
background with
2014.
the silhouette of Godzilla behind like all the buildings and smoke and shit?
Yeah.
Imagine that, but it's the bear, and it's sort of like
Mhm.
that same sort
A
of
family
eerie
photo.
thing. And then just at the bottom in like small text, it just says "We're not scared."
Yeah, so you could subtly market it as a horror film, but not obvious. I reckon that'd be great, because then people would see it and then they'd share it word of mouth and say,
Yeah.
this isn't what you think it is. Could work.
We could.
I'd watch
I want
it,
to see it happen.
but I like
Let's
the book
fund
as
it.
well, so I don't know.
We're going on a bird. I catch a big one.
I don't remember
You
what
should
happens
rewrite the
properly
book.
with the book, other than they have to go. What's the plot of the book? 'Cause they somehow go through like a snowstorm and climb a mountain and all sorts. Is it made
Is that
up?
not the one where they're like, we can't go under it, we can't go around
Yeah.
it, so we have to go over it, something like that.
Yeah,
There's like various obstacles. There's
it's like you could turn
maybe
back.
a river, there's a mountain, all just to catch a bear.
Right, so the last thing to do is to plug the shit that we're going to do before doing an outro. Oh, trust me, I didn't even write it down. So the places where you can get in touch with the show is we've got an email, which, if I remember correctly, is pitchandmoanpod@gmail.com. pitchandmoanpod@gmail.com. So if you want to write in any suggestions for what we can do for an episode, you can send them in there. Or you can put them up at, I think we've got a Pitch and Moan podcast Facebook page. Oh, I had a hiccup. Pitch and Moan podcast Facebook page. I think that's up there somewhere, but I'm not sure. I can't remember what I've created so far with this. So that covers the show. Next week, you're off, aren't you, Helen? For where are you at?
Oh yeah, I'm going Berlin.
Berlin?
I'm gonna see where Hitler was hiding in his little bunker. Hitler's bunker, which is just a car park now or something. So I don't think I'll go and see that.
Fair enough. So you'll
That's
come back with stories of I don't know.
Germany. Yeah. So if there's anything you want me to look out for over there, if you've heard anything funny, I will definitely go and see if it's actually there.
Fair
Cool.
enough.
You can be like the idiot abroad.
Yeah. Oh, I'll have to get Skype on my phone or something. Live from the wall.
Just record like a journal or something, so when you're back on, you can tell us any weird things that you see over there.
I'll just play it.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know.
Me and Aidan will be doing the podcast next week. I think we're doing it based on pitching a Spider-Man movie, because we thought that'd be pretty
Right,
cool.
okay.
So yeah, that's coming next week. That's all. You know what's shit, right? Whenever someone says that's all the time we have for, that is bullshit, because we have time to do as many hours as we want here. But I was ready to say that's all the time we have for. It's not, but we're going now. This
But
is
what are we
it.
gonna do now? We're just
Yeah.
gonna.
We're gonna stop, literally, for listeners, we're gonna stop the recording, we're gonna natter a bit, and then that's it for the day.
Yeah.
That is it, and
So-
then I'll just go and get my washing.
So
and
I'm not
sleep.
gonna lie to the listeners, this isn't all the time we have for you, but we're going now, so fuck off.
Yeah.
That's it. You've listened to the show, you can listen again next week.
Fuck off.
Fuck off. That's Jerry's final thought for this week, just fuck off. I hope you enjoyed it.
We should get a Gordon Ramsay thing just to say that.
Yeah.
A
Yes.
button for Gordon
Right.
Ramsay. No, fuck off.
Fuck off. Oh, we went
Turn
bitter
my
on the
recording
listeners then. I don't want to leave on a fuck off note. I kind of do, but I don't.
Yeah, please. I
maybe
like
on a later podcast, but it's our first one. We can't tell them to fuck off on our first one.
Yeah. So have
Okay.
a good day, listeners. But next week you best watch yourself, because you're in for a shock. I'll tell you that.
that. Nice. True.
You're in for a rude awakening. I'll probably forget, in fairness, but nah, fuck off. That's it.
Fuck off.
All right, bye.
Bye.